welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Friday. How you doing out there? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome to our show. It's called The Closing Beat because we talk about the stock market, references our name, Jazz Wealth. We are financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth that actually help. We like to teach. We like to show you how things work, even sometimes if it makes your eyes gloss over or whatever. Just helps. Maybe we'll teach you something that you think about a year from now, or something that you learn, and helps you make better decisions. So this class is here for our customers, but also for you guys. And it's Friday, so we got a lot to cover today. We'll get right into it. If you look off to the right-hand side of your page, you're going to see the stock market gave you a little bit of a rally today. If we go over to the charts there, we can take a look at the S&P 500. Gave you a little bit of a bounce, but I'm going to start with the Nasdaq today. The Nasdaq led the markets today, was the strongest performing index out of the group there, up almost 30% year to date. Remember when we were up here, we were up over 40%. Still been a rough September though. You can see it there. I don't have to spell that out for you. A rough September. You got a 7.5% loss on the books here for the Nasdaq. Well, tech was strong today, but really the excitement I think was in biotech. Had a great run today, up over 2%. A lot of support spurred from the Novavax phase 3 trials that they're starting. If you happen to look, it's not a NASDAQ name, but if you happen to look over there, got a 10% gain there. Some of the NASDAQ names that benefited from that and additional stuff was Moderna, up 6%. That was your leader out of the group. Dexcom also had a good day. Great reversal from the last, just kind of reversing the last couple weeks of nothing, really sitting there, up 5.5%. Aluminum, you got a nice recovery off that. That was that extended drop that we talked about earlier in the week. Stocks that had sold off more than they historically do. That one recovering quite nicely. So a nice little bump there and a lesson for you if you happen to be paying attention. IDEX also was a good mover there, all just kind of sticking in that healthcare / biotech space. That really helped out the Nasdaq today. If we go over to the S&P 500, you got a little bit of a gain here today. 33% of all the stocks in the S&P 500 are above the 50-day moving average. Does that sound like a lot to you? It's not a lot, right? It's actually the lowest number since about early April, if you look back throughout the year there. But today was pretty good. Go to the charts here. We look at today. 2/3 of the stocks in the S&P 500 today were up 1% or better, right? That's pretty good. 66% of all the stocks gained 1% or better on a Friday. That's not too bad. The S&P almost erased all the week's losses, still down about 0.5% on the week. That's not bad overall. So, you know, it's what you got. We're down 5% for the month of September in the S&P, which is pretty good considering where we were. We were down over 7%. You might remember this chart that I shared with you earlier. It was the 6th worst September on the books with a loss of 7.22% earlier in the week. Now we've gone all the way back here to the 11th worst overall. Not too bad. Something interesting today was a lot of the excitement came from the cruise lines. A lot of bottom pickers out there, huh? Cruise lines, you got Carnival Cruise up 10% on the day. Norwegian Cruise Lines, which had some other news, I guess we'll cover that a little bit later. They were higher on the Barclays report there. And Royal Caribbean, it's not going to do it for me, but they were all positive here on the day. Felicia Hendricks, what a cool name, right? I just thought that was a cool name. She's from Barclays. She put out a note, upgraded the stocks there. She said, while we may be early, we see this as an inflection point, which makes the risk to reward attractive here. So that was her belief on the cruise lines, which caused a good little spike there in the cruise lines if you were taking a look through all that. We're going to try something a little different today for our sector breakdown. Let's go over there and take a look. Let's see what we can do. 7 of 11 sectors were higher on the day. Not going to do it, so I'm going to jump right into the good stuff here. 5-day percentage change, right, for the week. How did things go for the sectors there? The tech sector was up 2% on the week. It was actually your best performer throughout the week there. Utilities and consumer discretionary, I use XLY for that, also turned a gain on the week of, let's see, utilities 1.2% and consumer discretionary 0.23%. Not bad. They erased their losses, so that was pretty cool there. Communication services, XLC, if you want to look at that, almost got there, 0.1% loss over the last 5 days, so not quite there. Healthcare stocks, right? Healthcare stocks today. Let's see if it's going to come back. Help me out. No? All right. Healthcare stocks, you got United Healthcare. I knew I liked that stock, right? We talked about that throughout the week. That pullback looking pretty good there. And Edward Life Sciences up 3% on the day. Wait, what did United Healthcare do? Up 3% on the day. Nice bounce off the 200-day moving average overall. Like I said, we're going to try something different for our sector breakdown here, and hopefully this works. Let's just do a little test. Yeah, it's going to work. Okay, here we go. So in the sector breakdown, one of the things I wanted to point out is if the markets continue to sell off, that none of the sectors are oversold, meaning they're not really in a position where they're way oversold and people would come in and buy them just yet, even though we've fallen quite nicely off of the highs. One way that we look at that is the spread between the price and the 50-day moving average, or the price relative to the S&P. So today what I'm going to show you is the pullback in the sectors relative to their price movement in the S&P, so we can kind of see whether sectors are extended or not. We're going to start with basic materials here. What you're going to look for here is under zero. I don't have a way to bold this line, but right smack in the middle, anything under zero starts to represent oversold. The further away we are from that zero line, the more oversold we are. Well, even though basic materials have pulled back a little bit and they're supposed to have a rough September, and they are, we're not really sold off here. We're not that far away. We could still have a pretty significant leg down and not be oversold compared to the markets. If you look at communication services, a little bit worse there, but still not oversold. You'd have to be anything under a 5, right? So this is just a ratio chart here, but anything under 5, you would start to say, okay, this is extended. If you look at energy, all right, energy oversold a little bit, right? That's a weak area to be, but energy oversold here. If we move on to financials, just a little bit, there's still more room to the downside. So what that tells you is it's really, really, really important for the markets to have a good bounce next week, right? The sectors to start to recover. If they just recover a little bit and start to lose some steam, you have people saying, well, they're not oversold. There's still room for making new lows here in the short term. I won't go through all of them, but look at industrials. It's just on the cusp of being oversold. If you look at tech stocks, really not even there. Still got plenty of room to drop if there's more weakness ahead. Consumer staples, same thing. If you look through that one, barely oversold, not too much there. REITs a little bit, not a big deal there. Utilities, not a big deal. They're all in the same ballpark. Healthcare, we know the pullback and that's been a little bit weaker, so kind of interesting there. And finally, consumer discretionary, it's not anywhere oversold. The moral of the story is the stock market bouncing from here, awesome. Right? That's cool. We fell 10%, get a little bit of a bounce. That's awesome to see. However, if weakness persists and we start to roll over, it really wouldn't be all that shocking. I mean, we're not oversold. We're not in a position where the algorithms come in and get excited to buy these deeper discounts there. So, I don't know, something to consider there. Moving on, we've got our notable new highs for the day. We're not even going to do it because there's nothing. There's nothing there. There are no new highs and no new lows. Right? You got Domino's Pizza, UPS, Dollar General, and Target less than 2% to go from making new highs. So right in there, they're kind of hovering around, getting stuff done, but not great, right? No new highs today. And there were actually 0 new lows. So, there's been a lot of those close to lows, Molson Coors, or TAP. You got Coty, C-O-T-Y, in the mix there, and Gilead Sciences, all within 2% of hitting new lows. So still something interesting there you could take a look at. And I apologize, the charts aren't going to work today. I wonder, maybe we could try something different. We're going to try something a little different here. Tell you what, let's do this. I'm going to give you guys a different way of looking at things here, just to change it up a little bit. And we're going to go over to our watch list for the day. Kind of an interesting way to finish off the rest of the week here. What I did is I ranked the S&P by Analyst. So what we did is took the S&P 500 and we said, all right, let's look at all the analyst recommendations in there. Are they bullish? Are they bearish? And if so, are they really bullish? Are most of them on the same page? And rank them from the most highly recommended stock all the way to the least recommended stock. So yeah, it's not going to come up. It looks like the charts are giving us some grief there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull it up like so. There you go. Cool. All right, here is Quanta Services. Ticker symbol is PWR. If you're taking a look at this, this is the most or the highest ranked in terms of analyst recommendations. So you've got 12 analysts on this. Almost every single one of them have a buy rating on it. If I could just go like this and put the S&P in there and we just kind of show the performance relative to the S&P, look at how much stronger it is. It's holding up near the highs there, looking good. Overall stronger, and now you know why. At least for performance there. They got a price target average of 57.58 on there, so a little bit of room to go for Quanta Services, and that is number one. We'll pull up another one here, just go through the list. Hey, actually, there you go. That's the list. Duh. All right, so I'm with you now. I'm adjusting on the fly. You see how we do this? Okay, so you got Teledyne coming in next here. So Teledyne on the mix there as far as analyst ratings. sorry, right over here. If you're not familiar with Teledyne, right, they're aerospace and defense type avionics and things like that. They've got all kinds of cool things going on there. But Teledyne, you've got almost every analyst positive. There's only 5 analysts that cover this. They got a price target of 376. So what I'm going to do is back out the S&P. We're going to go back to price so we could just see. It's at 312, kind of done nothing for a while here. 376, the 12-month price target there for Teledyne, looking pretty good. Jacobs, ticker symbol J, if you want to take a look there. You've got a $104 price target. Almost every single analyst positive on that one. There are 15 analysts that cover that. They're looking at 104 bucks. That puts you almost to the prior highs as of now. They say that that is the third most highly recommended S&P stock that is out there at the moment. You might recognize this name here. Amazon, all right? How can that not be one of them there? 45 analysts cover Amazon. 36.72 is the price target they have on it. Way up here. They're assuming new highs for Amazon, and almost every single analyst is bullish on that one. If we go to Pioneer Natural Resources, that's PXD. If you want to take a look, you've got 133.06. This is a tough one, right? They've been pretty much wrong on this one. 34 analysts on this one. They all think that this area is a buy. This pullback is a buy. They think 133.06 on the price target there, so I thought I'd put that in there. That ranks as number 5 in terms of the most highly recommended out of the group there. We'll go over to LabCorp. If you've ever had blood work done, you know what LabCorp is, right? They're massive, massive. Analyst-wise, you got 15 analysts covering that one, 226.40. They assume more than all-time highs there. And if you were to compare it to the S&P, naturally the performance has been better if you want to look overall, just hanging in there. So it's starting to wake back up again. I don't know where you want to go with that, if that's something you're into. And then lastly, we'll go over to a REIT, Alexandria Real Estate. Now, this is a unique one. If you happen to, I don't know if you've ever looked into REITs. I've occasionally touched on them because I know a lot of people are into this. They are, how do you say it? They're not biotech. They're like a life sciences REIT. That's probably the best. That's probably how they would explain it. Life sciences REIT. So they do something really cool, actually. They invest in spaces that are, they call them clusters. So they're little clusters of areas where people are maybe studying habitat or maybe green energy and things like that. And they only really have a few places all around the country, but that's how they make their money. They are a life sciences based type REIT. So they don't do warehouses, they don't do apartment complexes. They do that whole life sciences thing, whether it's development or whether it's just, agricultural, something like that. It's kind of interesting. They make good money doing it, and that's a REIT there. Anyways, if we take a look at the analyst recommendations there, that ranks as your 7th best one out of the group there. 11 analysts covering it. They've got 184.74 as the price target. If I could go over to, let's do it this way. 184.74 puts you at new highs there. Maybe something you want to take a look at. And that is our watch list for the day. Kind of a unique look at it. By the way, if you want to look on the downside, some of the worst stocks in terms of analyst recommendations with sell ratings, Ben Franklin, or Franklin Templeton is how you would say it, Under Armour, American Airlines, you got Con Edison in the mix, and Aflac. So if you own any of those stocks, they are really out of favor. Another way to look at it is to say, all right, analysts don't really like that stock right now. So maybe that's one that you want to be interested in. Maybe it's trading at a discount, something like that. So that's that. All right, let's move on over to our stocks in the news here. Let's see what we can do. Just a couple of them for you here today. Boeing got a $2.2 billion Air Force contract. And I'll tell you what, we'll go over to this. I'm going to try it one more time because I like showing the charts, man. Where's my charts? I don't know if you noticed Boeing bouncing today. Had a good day. It's good for them. I mean, they really needed that bounce overall. They got a $2.2 billion Air Force contract for them, and that got people excited today. Also, it was a bottom fishing kind of a day. So you had a lot of that bottom fishing going on, and we're officially back up and running. He's a multitasker. Here you go. Boeing with a almost 7% gain on the day after being a little oversold. I don't know that that's the bottom, to be honest. I think there may be a little bit more room there should we have any more rough waters out there. DraftKings looking good today. Argus put a price target of $65. They said, we're early. There's probably not going to make a profit this year or next year, but in 2022, they think they're going to be profitable. Had a lot of good things to say about sports gambling and how much the demand is so much there, more there than ever expected. And so DraftKings nearly hitting new highs on that news there. You got Costco. Beat on earnings by 33 cents. Revenues better than expected. Same store sales. That's where the focus is for names like Costco. They even give guidance ahead of time on this. Store sales up 14%. doing good, right? This is not much to complain about there for Costco. Norwegian Cruise Lines was one of the bottom fishing stocks today. They said, so this is what they did. They have a world cruise coming out in 2023, I believe it is. Travel around the world on a cruise ship. They sold out of that cruise in record time. It was the fastest they've ever sold out a cruise before. What does that tell you? And same with the lady from Barclays there, that Felicia Hendricks. Cool name, by the way. I think I mentioned that. The demand for cruises is there. It's just not right now. People booking out next year and just saying, okay, next summer I'm going to kill it. I'm going to spend all my money, all my virus money that I've got, and I'm going to go out and enjoy a cruise. People aren't scared to go on cruises. They're just waiting for the cruise ships to open. So the demand is there, and because of that, you saw the stock moving higher today, and all of those stocks, to be exact. Lastly, we got Vail Mountain, or Vail Resorts is how you say it. That's the ski resort there. Missed on earnings by 29 cents. Revenues came in weaker than expected. They do feel positive about the upcoming ski season, and I don't see why not. I mean, putting a mask on and skiing has got to be comfortable, right? I mean, that's probably not a big deal. So stock wasn't really lower on the day. It actually finished the day higher. I will point out Carnival Cruise earnings next week. You got Cena and United Foods coming out next week. I'll answer your questions if you happen to have any there, and we'll see what we can do now that we're jamming. We're jamming with our charts here, looking good. I love it. You hope the stock market drops 500 points next week. I know there's a lot of people they're still hoping the stock market falls, and maybe it will. Now you've got a reason to believe that it can actually do that. Oh yeah, I love it. End of the quarter, market should rally higher for window dressing. Well, it's an argument, yeah. That is something we've studied in the past and kind of did a whole cool thing on that. Oh, Tesla had a good day. Yeah, Tesla had a good day. That's right. Up $20 today. That's 5%, bouncing off the 50-day moving average almost perfectly, just like it has been, right? Not too bad there. My wife's actually looking for a new car and never thought she'd bring it up. She said, hey, how about a Tesla? I said, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yep. Dustin, you saw the stat that said this week, after 4 straight weeks led to weeks in the green, 61% of the time it plays out. Do you think this is the end of the correction? I think next week will be a big sort of clue to that. How do we bounce? Do we keep today's momentum going into next week with good volume? If so, you have more and more people that are forced to believe that this is going to be at least a temporary bottom. Today's volume was okay. It was just slightly above average. If that continues to increase going into next week, then yeah, you have a recipe to say 3,200 is likely the interim term support there. Yep. Oh yeah. Am I still 50% cash? No, I'm not. No, never was. Might have mistaken that for 15 maybe, but not 50. First debate on Tuesday. Yeah, looking forward to it. I like politics. I like when they talk about it. I want to know what their plans are, right? I mean, come on. That's part of the deal there. Yeah, debate next Tuesday night, by the way. So likely to be pretty exciting. I don't know how much it affects the markets. What we know about Joe Biden and, of course, what you know about President Trump is already out there, right? I think Joe Biden could be a little clearer about what it is that he wants to do that's posted on his website. So it'll be a good chance for him to come out and really define some of the stuff, you know, like the 401k plan that they have to totally revamp that. Well, how does that work? I've got a lot of questions, so I wouldn't mind being in the room. I missed him by 2 weeks because I was just in Cleveland, but I wouldn't mind being in the room asking some questions on that. So I'll be listening up for things like that. Highly doubt they're going to cover that, to be honest. They're going to cover everything else that's current event at the moment, but we'll see. It'll be exciting. I mean, I look forward to it. I know people get worked up about politics. I just like to hear what people say, you know, see what's going on. That is the flavor of the season there. I like it. You keep hearing about us having a new bull market. Yeah, like I said, I think there's still room to prove it, right? It's not there yet. I think you've got a lot more to do after this 10% drop. You've got a lot of potential headline risk out there. There's a lot more to do. A lot of that bottom fishing needs to continue in the S&P. Can't have the S&P being led by just a handful of stocks. You see what happens there. Yep. Hey, the only time I like to talk about politics in here is when they start messing with your money. So if I can keep you updated on that I'll help you with. Other than that, your personal beliefs, you got to vote for what matters to you. And I respect that. We can still be friends. No problem with that at all. You like DHI breaking through the new highs there in the short term. It's been strong. It's had its moments where it's really woken up there. What I don't like, there's the button. What I don't like is this reversal from yesterday. It's not often that you see that reverse right away and just completely do a 180 and head back higher. So that one has some proving to do. Anything over 74 bucks next week will make you start to forget about that big reversal day right in here. So let's hope that happens if you want it to hit the new highs there. And we'll see what we can do. Can you do a class on trend lines and channels? Could we? Yeah. Seems like a good one maybe for the research site there. Shameless plug. Huh? I love it. Buy Tesla's stock and then buy a car with the profits. Yeah, sure. I actually had a guy the other day that had Tesla shares, and he had them as part of some sort of thing that his parents bought for him when it came out, and he had a ridiculous cost basis. So he could have more than bought a couple Teslas with his profit, even post-split. It was impressive there. Yeah. All right, I'll wrap it up there. Good week. A lot of action this week. September wraps up next week. You know the stats on that now if you've been paying attention. I'll wish you a good rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy. Next week's going to be exciting. We got a lot of Fed members out there. They were out in droves this week just talking like crazy. We've got them coming out next week again. There's so much coming out there in terms of the Fed. And, of course, politics. It's going to be largely focused around politics next week as well. So I'll wish you a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend, and we will see you later. Enjoy.